Hello and welcome to Module 10.3, Multiplying Polynomials. Our objective for this lesson is that I can multiply binomials using the distributive property and the FOIL method. So we're going to work our way through. We are multiplying two binomials together, and we're going to work through a couple different methods on how to go about and do this, and you're going to choose which is the best method that works for you. So the first one would be using a table. Now, this one isn't necessarily in our textbook, but I'm introducing it to you now so that you can see it, because it might help you as you go to factor later on in the chapter. So we're going to have two terms. We have 3x plus 1 as one term, and we have an x plus 4 as our other term. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write those two binomials into these boxes. So we have a 3x, we have a 1, and we have an x, and we have a 4. All right, now, you've seen something like this before, although not in a mathematical context. You've seen this in science last year when you took life science. This would be an example of a Punnett square. And so when we do this, we are combining. So we're going to multiply what's happening in each box. So when we are in this box, we're multiplying this piece by this piece, right? We're multiplying what two boxes constitute that. So 3x times x is 3x squared. And then in our next box over here, 3x times 4 is going to give us 12x. Okay, and then in our next box down below, right, this box here, it's going to be x times 1. So when we do that, we get just an x. And then in our last box, 1 times 4 is 4. Now, we've done the multiplication. Now we need to combine it all together. So we're going to get 3x squared plus 12x plus x plus 4, because they're all positive terms that we were working with. Now you combine your like terms, 3x squared plus 13x plus 4. And that's our final answer for that. Letter B, let's set it up the same way. So we've got x minus 6. So now we're going to have some negative signs. We have a 4x and we have a 3. So go ahead and multiply these. 4x times x is 4x squared. 3 times x is plus 3x. Negative 6 times 4x is minus 24x. Negative 6 times plus 3 is minus 18. Now, you might be asking yourself, Mr. Boland, what if I put x minus 6 on the top and 4x minus 3 on the bottom? Well, your top right and your bottom left boxes will simply just switch. That's all. Nothing else happens. They just switch places. So we rewrite 4x squared plus 3x minus 24x minus 18. Combine like terms, and we get 4x squared. Let's see, we got 4x squared minus 21x minus 18. It doesn't call them that, but you can do the next two problems as you tries. Do these as you tries. We have an x, we have a 4, we have a 2x, we have a negative 1. So when we go ahead and we multiply, we're going to get 2x squared. We have a minus x, we have an 8x, and we have a minus 4. So 2x squared minus x plus 8x minus 4. Combine like terms, and it's just our middle terms here. You'll notice a pattern. It's always these middle terms that are getting combined. Negative x plus 8x is plus 7x, and then it's minus 4. That's a terrible looking x, so we're going to rewrite it so it looks a little bit better. There we go. So 2x squared plus 7x minus 4 is your answer there. Letter D, we've got a 2y and a 5. We've got a 4y and a negative 3. So 2y times 4y is 8y squared. 2y times negative 3 is minus 6y. 4y times 5 is 20y. And 5 times negative 3 is minus 15. So we have 8y squared minus 6y plus 20y minus 15. Combine like terms in the middle. 8y squared plus 14y minus 15. And that's our answer. Now, we're going to go down to examples 2 and 3, which is multiplying binomials. And there's going to be, again, two different methods I'm going to demonstrate for you. There's the horizontal method and there's the FOIL method. So let's start with horizontal method. Horizontal method is simply you are going to break apart x and plus 5, and you're going to multiply x times x minus 8. And then you have plus 5 times x minus 8. So essentially, you're using distributive property. You're doing the x times that whole thing and the negative 5, or the 5 times the whole thing. All right, and so when you do that, x times x minus 8, so we've got x squared minus 8x. We have 5 times x, so plus 5x minus 40. And now we combine like terms. X squared minus 3x minus 40. Okay, so this is one method. It's laying it out horizontally like this. Why am I showing you this method now when the next method I use is the one you're most likely going to use? Because I want you to be able to see how this looks when we do the distribution, so that when we come to factoring later on, when we do factoring by grouping, you'll be able to see that this x minus 8 term is a common term that they both have that we can bring out. So when we come back to this in a little over a week, you'll be able to see, hopefully see factoring by grouping in a little bit different light as we go to find these common terms there. But that's a lesson for another day. Method number 2 is a method that if you talk to anybody who's taken Algebra 1 in the past, even if you're talking to your parents or grandparents, they may remember this acronym FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. So we multiply the two first terms. X times x is x squared. We multiply our outer terms, x and 9, so that's plus 9x. We multiply our two inner terms, negative 7x. We multiply our last two terms, negative 63. Notice, you're doing the exact same steps by doing the horizontal method. You just actually lay it out a little bit differently in the FOIL method. You're not rewriting it and then multiplying, you're just multiplying. This is why you're going to use method 2 FOIL. And then lastly, we need to combine our like terms in the middle there, because standard form is we combine all like terms. 9x minus 7x is plus 2x minus 63. All right, if we change to the next page, we've got a whole bunch of problems that we are going to do FOIL on. Yay! FOIL, first, 2x times 4x is 8x. Outer, 2x times 1 is plus 2x. Inner, 3x times 4x, that's plus 12x. And last, 3 times 1 is 3. Combine our like terms in the center, and my squared on 8x squared didn't show up. So we combine our like terms, 8x squared. We've got 2x plus 12x, so that's plus 14x, and then plus 3. Okay? You'll notice I'm drawing the arc of the FOIL. I'm drawing the distribution. I'm showing the multiplication. And if you were to come and look at the copy that I use as my answer key for all of our tests, quizzes, assignments, for these notes, you will see me doing that exact same step. I am doing that. I am showing and I am indicating that I'm multiplying, because by making that physical connection from the 2x to the 1, it reminds me that I have to do it. So draw that arc in so that you actually are going through the step and doing all of the steps that you need to do. All right, letter B, we've got negative 4x times the quantity 3x plus, or sorry, negative 4x minus 5 times the quantity 3x plus 7. So negative 4x times 3x. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12x squared. Negative 4 times 7 is minus 28x. Negative 5 times 3 is minus 15x. And negative 5 times 7 is minus 35. Combine like terms in the middle. Minus 12x squared. Negative 28 minus 15 is minus 43x minus 35. Letter C, we start with distributive property. We FOIL first minus 3x squared, outer plus x, inner plus 39x, last minus 13. Combine our like terms, plus x and plus 39x. Negative 3x squared plus 40x minus 13. All right, D, E, and F, 3 U-try problems. Go. Letter D, 4x times negative x is minus 4x squared. 4x times y is plus 4xy. Oh, that's interesting. Negative 7y times negative x is plus 7xy. And lastly, we have minus 7y times y, which is minus 7y squared. And combine like terms, negative 4x squared. We have a 7xy and a 4xy, so that's plus 11xy. And then minus 7y squared. All right. These are all in our standard form. We don't need to do anything with it. We have negative, each one has the exact same degree, so we don't need to do anything else. We're just leaving it as is. Letter E. We have 2x times 3x, which is 6x squared. 2x times 2 is plus 4x. Negative 5 times 3x is minus 15x. And negative 5 times 2 is minus 10. We are going to combine our like terms in the middle. So we have 6x squared. We have minus 11x minus 10. Letter F. We start with distributive property. 3x times 4x. That's going to get us 12. I'm going to move that down a little bit. We're going to get 12x squared. 3x times negative 1 is minus 3x. 7 times 4x is plus 28x. And 7 times negative 1 is minus 7. Combine like terms in the middle. 12x squared plus 25x minus 7. So our next example is using the FOIL method. So we have a town worker clearing snow from a parking lot and the surrounding sidewalk. The sidewalk extends X feet on every side of the parking lot. Write an expression for the total area of the parking lot and the sidewalk. Well, we know area is length times width. And we're told we've got some measurements here, but we know that this piece and this piece are both x, as we see in the little drawing there. So if we're talking about the total length, it's going to be 60 plus 2 x's, right? So it's going to be 2x plus 60 is length. Our width is going to be 70 plus 2x, or 2x plus 70, which we can now multiply. We're going to do that. We're going to do 2x times 2x, which is 4x squared, 2x times 70, which is plus 140. We have 2x times 60, which is 120x, and 60 times 70 is 4,200. All right. Combine like terms in the middle here, 140x and 120x. We have 4x squared. We have plus 260x plus 4,200, 4200. All right, now you're going to go ahead and you are going to do the 2 U-try problems, or not the 2 U-try problems, the 1 U-try problem. So we have a group of dancers planning a location for their next flash mob. They know that the dance floor will take up a rectangular area that is 35 feet wide by 50 feet long. They also want to make sure that there are X feet of space on all sides of the group so no spectators are injured during the dance. Write an expression to represent the total area needed to safely hold the flash mob. All right, I always like to start off a word problem like this by drawing a picture of it to give me a little bit of a visual representation. So we have a dance floor, and we know that it's 35 and it's by 50, right? That's the information we were given there. 35 feet wide, 50 feet long. But then we know there's also a walkway around it, some room that they want for safety. So that's going to be represented by X on both sides because it's going to be the same distance around each side. And we want to know the area, total area, which again was length times width. So our length, we're going to do 50 plus 2x. Our width is 35 plus 2x. I wrote it a little backwards. That's okay. It's still going to work. 50 times 35 is going to get me 1750. 50 times 2x is plus 100x. 2x plus 35 is plus 70x. And 2x times 2x is plus 4x squared. Now, when we combine like terms on this one, we also should write it in standard form. So we have 4x squared plus 170x plus 1750. Now, if you had written this around and you did 2x plus 50 and 2x plus 35, you're going to get to the same work. You're just not going to have to think about putting it in standard form when you do the multiplication. So if it's already in standard form, then you don't have to think about doing that extra step at the end. All right, let's take a look at our last section of our notes, which is multiplying polynomials by using the distributive property. So we're going to make sure you combine like terms, first of all, and write your answer in standard form. That is the expectation. So now we're multiplying a binomial by a trinomial. And we're going to just do this using distributive property. I'm going to use 2 different colors to help highlight everything that's going on. So negative 4x is going to distribute to x squared. So that's negative 4x cubed minus 12x squared plus 16x. That's our first term getting distributed. Then we've got 2 times x squared, so that's plus 2x squared. 2 times 3x, which is plus 6x. And we have 2 times negative 4, which is minus 8. We are going to combine all of our like terms, and so we get negative 4x cubed minus 12x squared plus 2x squared is minus 10x squared, plus 16x plus 6x is plus 22x, and then we have minus 8. All right, letter B. We're going to go through the exact same process. 2x times 4x squared is going to be 8x squared. 2x times negative 3x is negative 6x squared. Sorry, that was 2x. Sorry, 8x cubed on the first one. And then minus 6x squared. And then my third term is going to be plus 2x. 3 times 4x squared is plus 12x squared. 3 times negative 3x is plus 9x. Sorry, minus 9x. And 3 times 1 is plus 3. And we go ahead and combine like terms. 8x cubed stays out front. Nothing else to combine with. Negative 6x squared plus 12x squared. That's going to be plus 6x squared. 2x plus negative 9x is minus 7x plus 3. All right, letter C. 5x times 2x squared is going to give us 10x to the third. 5x times 3x is plus 15x squared. And 5x times 7 is plus 35x. Negative 2 times 2 is minus 4x squared. Negative 2 times 3x is minus 6x. Negative 2 times 7 is minus 14. Combine like terms. Nothing combines with 10x cubed. We've got 15x squared minus 4x squared, so that's plus 11x squared. We have 35x minus 6x, so that's plus 29x. And we have minus 14. Okay. So that's our 3 problems there. We're going to go ahead and do the 3 you try problems. Try them on your own and then check your work against mine. Okay, letter D, we've got 2x times 7x squared. So that's going to be 14x to the third. And then we've got 2x times 8x, which is plus 16x squared. 2x times 1 is plus 2x. 3 times 7x squared, that's going to be plus 21x squared. 3 times 8x is plus 24x. 3 times 1 is plus 3. No like terms for 14x cubed, but 16x squared and 21x squared are going to add together to give me 37x squared. 2x plus 24x is plus 26x and plus 3. Letter E, we have negative 8x distributing to x squared. So we get negative 8x cubed. We've got negative 8x times negative 6x, and that's going to get us 48x. Negative 8x times negative 8 gets me plus 64x. 3 times x squared is 3x squared. 3 times negative 6x is minus 18x. And 3 times negative 8 is minus 24. And now we combine like terms. We get negative 8x cubed. 48x squared. There was a squared there that got missed.
So 48x squared plus 3x squared, that's going to give us 51x squared. Plus 64 minus 18 is plus 46x minus 24. Our last problem for today, 4x squared times x squared. So we'll just do a little bubble there. So we've got 4x to the fourth. 4x squared times 14x is going to be plus 56x cubed. 4x squared times negative 1 is minus 4x squared. Then we've got x times x squared, which is plus x cubed, plus 14x squared minus x. And we're going to combine like terms. 4x to the fourth stays the same. We've got 56x cubed and x cubed, so that's plus 57x cubed. We got negative 4x plus 14x squared, so that's plus 10x squared, and then minus x. All right, those are our notes for today. If you have any questions, please bring them to class. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day. Take care.